Starting this one off, we've got some people losing their exotic holster soon, because there was a bug that would allow you to recalibrate the talent onto another piece of gear, and the only way they can fix it is to revert the gear back to its original state, but apparently there's no way for them to give the holster back, so you'll lose your exotic holster for good, and the talent you would have recalibrated will be gone off the gear you put it on, a typical lose-lose for the player. And now into more Division 2 talk that's going to annoy people, along with some kind of cool stuff, or cool sounding stuff at least, if they manage to pull it off without breaking 50 things in the process. This video is basically a recap of the important things spoken about in the latest state of the game, of which was pretty much all about Title Update 5. Starting off, and this one's pissed me off a little bit, they've decided after 3 months that you're now going to be able to obtain any blueprint in the game from control points. So you no longer have to farm daily or weekly projects to get your hands on the sturdy mags or the LMG large pouch, and if that's not a roundhouse kick to the nose, I really don't know what is. Next up, and this one really made the stream kind of cringy to watch, pretty much like the Anthem dev stream did a while back. They are bringing flashlights into the game, available on pistols only, as far as I'm aware, so you can see them dark corners and stuff, but for some reason, this topic was the most excited I've ever seen Hamish on stream, and after 3 months, with the majority of the fan base having done everything in the game, in terms of like exploring the world and stuff, what is the point of doing that now? They're adding 2 new weapons in with Title Update 5, we have the Stoner LMG, and the Carbon 7 that will be coming with some new talents. I don't know anything else about those, so we're just going to move on. This part really pisses me off about these streams, and it might be a little bit picky, but it's definitely something that somebody needs to point out. In today's state of the game, they were talking about weapons and mentioned lever action weapons. Currently it would be the 1886, and the guy talking about it didn't have a clue at all what the gun was called, and when you're talking about the game that you've worked on and would have been playing and stuff, you would think they know what they're talking about. A few weeks or so back, Hamish also did the same thing. He called the Grand Washington Hotel mission the George Washington. I mean, I get people can be forgetful and stuff, but it's literally the first mission in the game, and probably one of, if not the most played mission in the game. And you're doing a stream to show the state of the game and what's happening in terms of developing the Division 2. When you're mixing up names and not knowing things that you're talking about, it's going to be misleading for people that are trying to pick up on new things coming into the game and stuff. And I don't know, maybe I'm just being a little bit picky. Moving on from that, they were talking about new exotic gloves, which is probably going to be another pointless piece of gear. I literally don't have anything on the gloves at the minute, we're going to have to wait and see what happens with them. And then last up is the fact that they've buffed the absolute shit out of skill builds. And when I say buffed, you are currently able to increase the damage of a turret by roughly 25 to 30% using the mods, depending on your skill power level obviously. That is going from roughly 25 to 30% to around 150%. And this is all just being updated on your builds. You don't have to do any grinding at all to get the new percentages. They mentioned they're looking into loot problems, but the same as Anthem, it will take them far too long and should have been done way before now. We're playing a looter shooter. If we ain't looting, we ain't shooting. Add new weapons in more frequently than every 3 months or so and put enough out there to keep players wanting to grind. And just quickly adding onto the skill build buffs, cooldown reduction is being renamed to skill haste, and it's going to see an increase from the 90% cap or whatever it was, to you now being able to find mods with up to like 200% skill haste. They said they've done this to keep up with the current weapon damage / DPS meta, because apparently players are getting 2 to 3 million DPS on their guns, but they did state guns will always have the upper hand, and they're probably going to fuck this up, because there's only ever been a couple of YouTubers that showcase these 2.5 mil and 3 mil DPS builds, and I've seen hundreds of comments of players saying they can never see the same numbers or anywhere near, so if they're trying to balance it and they honestly think 3 mil is the balanced DPS, then skill builds are going to become OP as shit. Probably the best meta in the game when they're released. Every single thing I've spoken about in this video is regarding Title Update 5, and it's from the State of the Game stream, which was earlier today. It currently has no release date. I mean, TU4 has only just released. But this is the basics of the update. There's going to be a lot more. Even their famous stealth nerfs will make it into the game that will make us feel as weak as though we're a level 1 trying to fight a 500 gear score in the occupied DZ. They mentioned that the PTS will be live on Monday, and if you're a part of it, make sure to leave feedback, so when the updates come out we're not complaining the game is bad and they fucked it up. Remember, these devs can't test things themselves and have to get their little guinea pigs to do it for them. They need all the help they can get at the moment to try and revive the player base, But that's me done for the video, guys. Let me know what you're thinking about the state of the game, the stream, and the actual state of the game. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching.